Welcome to Pinoy Video Gamer. My name is Edwin. So this is my part 2 of my impressions regarding the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S. Tuloy na natin tong usapan. Tapos I'll get back to you after my initial discussion. Okay, now about the Sony PlayStation 5. So yung console nila just came out weeks before the release date. Just really weeks, as in talagang really close. So the console itself is pretty large, pero it's impressive. There are two versions na lumabas ng PlayStation 5, pero we'll not dwell in too much kung yung difference ng dalawa kasi basically they're technically the same. Ang difference lang ng isang version is yung standard is may Blu-ray drive, tapos yung digital version wala. So that's the main difference. This will mostly affect kung mahilig ka mag PS4 games or mahilig ka sa mga physical copies. Kasi the digital version, since wala nga siyang Blu-ray drive, definitely hindi ka pwede bumili ng PS4 games tapos saksak mo dyan. You can't kasi wala naman siyang drive. So it will affect yung it's almost similar to the Series S, pero different sa kanya is technically yung laman ng yung digital version is identical dun sa standard version. So yung capacity rin ng SSD niya pareho lang. So sa sa interface ng PlayStation 5. Sa pag-setup pala sa kanya, it looks pretty similar. It works very similar sa dating PlayStation. Set it up, register and stuff. It's not a drastic change. Ang gusto ko sa ginawa nila, ang ganda ng interface nila. As in, it really reminded me of turning on the PS3 for the first time. It felt like a classy, fancy console. As in, it really feels that. So, may impression siya na you're really playing on an expensive machine. Tapos yun, maraming mga settings din yun. Maraming mga settings yung PlayStation 5 na surprising. Tulad ng game difficulty, pwede mo na iset sa main menu. Instead of sa mismong game, pwede mo na gawin sa main menu ng PlayStation 5 mismo. Pati mga subtitle setting, pwede mo na rin gawin yun doon. I don't know if you can really use yung mga settings na yan doon sa pag nanood ko ng movies. It might have a separate setting for that, pero it's just surprising na sa mismong system doon meron ka ng settings na pwedeng gamitin doon. Ang tanong lang naman dito is susuportahan ba ng game developers yung provided na settings na yun? Kasi medyo nasanay na tayo na ginagalaw natin yun through sa interface ng game, hindi sa system mismo. So I'm curious how this turns out in the long run. Ang problem ko siguro sa interface is feeling ko parang medyo unfinished, for the reason na although hindi naman siguro unfinished kasi it's the same way as current systems. A problem kasi is you can compare it. You can compare it with what Xbox is offering. So katulad ng example ko is you're allowed to sort items. Pero sa Xbox kasi you can set up your favorites. You can set up yung parang folders kung ano yung mga gusto mo. Or you can prioritize anong gusto mong menu. Sa PlayStation, you don't have that kind of choice. Hindi mo pwede paglaruan yung menu. Tapos ang sorting lang niya sa games is basically you choose lang by anong generation ng console. Like, sorted by PS3, sorted by PS4, sorted by PS1. And yun lang. Ang gusto ko naman sa ginawa ng ginawa ng PlayStation is meron naman silang quick tips. Mga hints, mga hint section na as long as you're a member of PlayStation Plus, pwede mo ma-access agad yung quick help. As in, that's ano agad. As in, hindi mo na kailangan maghanap sa internet, hindi mo na kailangan maghanap sa cellphone mo ng anong gagawin mo para matapos mo ng isang mission. But in, yeah, doon sa game mismo, biglang sabihin sa'yo, okay, sige, nahirapan ka dyan? O sige, hanapin natin kung paano natin susolusyonan yan. So, sa game mismo, may solution agad. Pero, that also, ang question ko dun is, ano yun, will the developers actually use this feature? But it seems like I think sa Demon Souls yata, I think they already implemented that, so that we're assured of. Pati sa yung game na Sackboy's Adventure thing, I think meron, for sure meron yun kasi yung dinemo nila. Ang ano mo rin dito is kung pag nagamit mo yung Xbox, you might miss out feeling yung quick resume. For the reason na quick resume is really something na magagamit mo lalo na if you're really switching into games. Ang saving grace lang naman dito sa PlayStation 5 is that mabilis din siya mag-load. So even though babalik ka niya sa start menu ng game, it's just a few clicks away and a few button presses away, and you should be back in the game in just a few seconds. So, ang question lang doon is, do you really need the quick resume or not? Pero nga, the PlayStation 5 does not have a quick resume feature. May maganda sanang feature yung PlayStation 5. Nung pinakita kasi yung Teardown, pinakita nila na merong expansion slot na pang SSD yung PlayStation 5. That was actually something na ang ganda. Ang ganda ng concept na yun. Maganda yung idea na yun. Turns out na just recently, sinabi nila na hindi daw pala pwedeng magamit yung expansion slot. For now. As in, after launch, it won't be functioning. Kung kailan siya mag-function, hindi pa natin alam. So, that was a disappointing aspect ng feature na yun, pinakita nila na pwede pala. Bakit hindi siya gumagana? So, yan, I was a bit disappointed with that. Ang pinaka-highlight ng PlayStation 5 is yung controller nila. Not really the hardware itself kasi sobrang identical ng Xbox. Pero the controller is so different. No, I have not held it myself kasi wala pa talagang nagbebenta dito sa Pilipinas. Pero I understand what they're doing. Naglagay sila ng microphone and speakers. That's not something new. Pero yung ginawa nilang, tinatawag nilang adaptive triggers. Adaptive triggers is their answer to impact triggers ng Xbox. Ang adaptive triggers naman is, yun, other than may haptic feedback siya, meron din siyang capability of locking the trigger. Parang may pressure siya. So, example ng yung pinakita nilang demo na Astro's Playroom. Ang interesting dito is pag gumagamit ka doon spring, may mode doon na parang you're playing with spring. Lumalaban yung trigger. Parang ramdam mo na it's pushing your fingers. So other than you're pressing, the trigger itself is pushing. So lumalaban siya, depende kung anong ginagawa mo. Tapos pag gumamit ka ng parang laser gun or gumamit ka ng any form of gun, ramdam mo dun sa triggers na the trigger itself is pushing. So parang pwede mag-lock yung mga ganun. It's fighting back in a sense. Tapos, everything na ginagawa mo pa, since may speaker yung system, everything na ginagawa mo, tumutunog. Although that in itself, yung microphone is not a new thing. Kasi ginawa na to ng Nintendo with the Wiimote. So, and actually, ang earliest na alam kong may microphone, yung lumang Nintendo na family computer. So, that's not a new thing. Pero malaking bagay yung may speaker siya. Although speaker ginawa na ng Wiimote, so narinig na natin yun before. Although dito, nung dinemo nila yung Astro's Playroom, they made sure na lahat ng ginagawa mo may sound. So it gives that feeling na parang you're there. So it gives you that feeling that you are there. So I think it kind of justifies bakit mahal yung controller nila, kasi I think they're selling it at $70 yata. Pero yun, you at least you know why you're spending that much, kasi there's so much things na ginampak nila dito sa controller na to, na that itself makes the game feel more next generation. Okay, so we're talking about sa capacity ng PS5, kasi apparently ang PS5 is only offering 800 gigabytes of space. SSD rin. Okay, I'm impressed sa nagagawa ng SSD kasi ang bilis talaga niya mag-load. Problem ko naman sa kanya is that halos 200 gigabytes naman yung system files niya. So 600 gigabytes na lang matitira sa'yo dito. This is a really bad setback in a sense for PS5, kasi as in ang liit na space. 600 gigabytes. As in, yeah, it's not as bad as the Xbox Series S. Pero why is 800 when you can do 1 terabyte instead? I don't know, siguro maybe their technology had something to do with it. Kasi actually ang pansin ko, yung SSD nila medyo kakaiba eh. Pag nakita ko yung teardown ng PS5, I think they split it up into several modules. Tapos naka-solder yun sa mismong motherboard. Ang worry ko sa ginawa nila naka-solder yung SSD is that I don't know how they can repair this in the long run. Kasi kung naka-solder yun sa motherboard, I don't know if you can find the replacement for it in the long run. As in, that's something na I can't imagine paano gagawin yun dito, unless lang talaga kung merong technical support dito ang PlayStation. Yung Xbox kasi nakikita ko pa kasi it's a standard SSD, habang dito it's a proprietary SSD. So pag isa doon nag-break, patay. I don't know how that will work. Siguro sasabihin lang ng system, okay, you can't use this partition ng SSD, tapos bahala na. So so I worry about that. Ang weird kasi sa akin, bakit 800 gigabytes? Kasi yung last generation nila 1 terabyte na eh. So bakit sila nag 800 gigabyte ngayon? And that's the only option Tapos biglang 200 gig ang kakainin space. Note, yung dating PS4 only eats up 100 gigabytes of system files. Ngayon, halos 200. So, 600 gigabytes is gonna be really, really small. Okay, so I'll be mentioning Xbox a bit dito kasi right now you're allowed to you're allowed to attach hard drive from the back. Hindi daw pwede sa front for some apparent reason. I have no idea why. Pero sa likod, pwede ka maglagay ng external hard drive. Ang issue lang dito is, sa Xbox kasi, you're allowed to transfer files from your SSD to your external drive. Ang rule lang daw kasi ng current games ngayon is you're not allowed to play the new games from a regular hard drive. You have to put it on an SSD sa internal drive talaga. Ang problem doon, so sa Xbox, ganun ang ginawa nila. You're allowed to backup files sa external drive. Tapos kung gusto mo siya laruin ulit, i-copy mo na lang ulit sa internal. Tapos pwede mo siya laruin ulit. So in a sense, yung external drive can work as a backup system. And you can still play old games dun sa external drive. Okay, so I thought this might be the same thing sa PlayStation 5. It turns out na you're not allowed to transfer files from your internal drive sa external drive. You're not allowed to do any of that. Kung kailangan mo burahin yung files mo sa PS5, kung kailangan burahin mo yung files, hindi ka pwede mag-backup. You really have to just delete the files from the PS5 and re-download it na lang later. It's a bit disappointing. Kasi feeling ko they could have corrected that issue. Sa you can still play PS4 and old games dun sa hard drive. You're just not allowed to play PS5 dun sa hard drive. Okay, so ngayon we're talking about the display. So the PlayStation announces itself na kaya niya mag 4K, actually kaya din daw niya mag 8K. Problem lang doon is we don't really know kung may nakakapag-test ba talaga ng 8K at that's a bit high and I don't know kung may tao may 8K talaga. Pero 4K is supposed to be the standard. Yun ang standard nitong dalawang consoles na bago. 4K resolution. Okay, that's great. That's a good thing. Although I'm not really so sure, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, kung may talagang I know may gagamit ng 4K but not a lot of people will. We're still at the HD point, I think. Most people, I think, is still using HD. A few people might be using 4K. Pero note, a lot of people are using whatever device that they have. So malamang may mga monitor sila. And it was also announced na ang PlayStation 5 cannot support a 1440p resolution. 1440p is not really a common thing sa TV. I don't think meron sa TV may resolution na gano'n. Pero sa mga monitors, there is kung meron kang slightly higher than the regular HD. So, ang doon is the 1440p resolution is a parang midpoint to a 4K resolution. Xbox is supporting it without any issues. Turns out, the PlayStation cannot. Wala siyang 1440p resolution. So, it's either you play HD or 4K. Nothing in between. This sounds strange na parang bitin. Bakit yung resolution na yun wala? So, kung may monitor ka na yun ang resolution, sorry ka na lang. You have to go resolution lower. Ang kagandahan ng PlayStation is meron silang something to show. They have Astro's Playroom na ito, at least kahit paano, pre-install na to sa PlayStation 5. Pagkabili mo, nandiyan na yan. Update mo na lang kung kailangan mo. Pero even though Astro's Playroom is not a graphical highlight, it highlights the controller a lot. Pagmamalaki talaga niya kung ano kaya gawin ng controller mo bago. It will do everything. And based on what I've been seeing, the game itself is really fun. So out of the box, may game ka na agad, which is that's something I really can't say with Xbox. Xbox, you just get the console. To get games, kailangan talaga mag-Game Pass ka or just get a new game. Dito, meron ka na agad Astro's Playroom. Tapos, on the side, you can buy Spider-Man Miles Morales. Ang kagandahan naman sa Miles Morales it's a graphical powerhouse. As in, talagang pagmamalaki naman niya yung graphics ng game. Ang ganda ng graphics, it supports ray tracing, 60 frames per second. It has a pretty good 10 hours to play. Although, it's a bit disappointing kasi nga, short lang yung game compared to the original Spider-Man. But 10 hours is not bad. 10 hours is pretty good for 10 hours is pretty good for most games. Nakakabitin lang siguro kasi you can compare it to Spider-Man. Tapos, PlayStation 5 will launch with 25 games. So, in terms of the game lineup, mas maganda ang PlayStation is a bit more prepared for it. At least, meron silang pang showcase. Meron silang pang demo talaga ng controller. Tapos, marami pa silang games na papakita. Ang sad lang sa akin dito is yung backward compatibility niya is a bit limited, as in medyo semi-questionable pa. It said they're supporting backward compatibility sa PS4. Sa PS3 and lower is medyo really it's hard to tell. I think discs the disc talaga is not gonna work. So yung PS3 compatibility depende na lang sa developer kung inayos nila. Kasi for most cases daw, it's not. From what I understand nga, parang they're not, yung programming kasi sa PS3 has been complicated and it's not something it's not something that can easily be emulated. Kaya hindi pwede basta-bastang ilipat lang. Hindi ganun kadali paandarin yung game. So, PS3 games will be selected lang kung ano yung pwedeng gumana. PS2 and PS1, ito, rin siya, medyo selected lang din. I think they'll be relying more on the PlayStation Now, which is, this is a service na parang panglaban din sa Game Pass, but not exactly, it's almost identical. Kasi Game Pass allows downloads tapos may streaming din sila. Ito rin ganun din. Pero PlayStation Now is more on the streaming side. Option lang pala mag-download pero on selected games only. From what I understand, they have 600 plus games and they have half of it can be downloaded. So in a sense, technically, they have more games to show than Game Pass. Ang disappointing lang dito is just you need to filter it down muna. Kasi you need to you have to check muna kung mada-download mo lang kasi it's not worth yung streaming. Lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, streaming is really difficult. Kung hindi maganda internet mo, streaming is not really a good choice. And anyway, alam ko streaming dito sa Pilipinas is not supported by Sony at this time. So yung option mo lang talaga is to download games. Ang problem lang siguro sa game lineup nila is that wala silang support. Hanggang medyo luma na yung mga games nila. Before they add anything, medyo luma na yung games nila. So ang solution nila dito is yung tinatawag nilang PS Plus collection. If you are a PS Plus member, you are provided I think mga 20 games, 18 to 20 games na yung highly rated games. If you are a game collector, medyo this game list would not really interest you kasi malamang meron ka na nito. Pero kung first timer ka, that the game list would be great. Ingan lang, you have to pay for PS Plus to actually access these games. No, yung PS Plus is separate from PS Now, so magkaibang service yun. Hiwalay na bayad yung Now, hiwalay na bayad yung Plus. Pero yun, if you are a PS Plus member, you're allowed to download yung 18 to 20 games na yan. And this is not really, the games is not really bad. Kasi These are really highly rated. Parang katulad ng Last of Us, they have God of War, they have Final Fantasy 15. Magaganda yung games talaga. Okay, so I'm a fan of both consoles. I think I saw that. I think I saw more of what both offered without any judgment. Kasi I skipped both I skipped both consoles. Pero dati nangolekta ako ng dalawa. Nangolekta ako ng Microsoft, ng Sony, Sega, Nintendo. Pero I skipped the past generation. So in a sense, I have no real choice between the consoles. Ang napansin ko lang dito sa dalawang to, sa Microsoft pati sa Sony, is that medyo nagmadali sila. They're trying to rush para sa holidays. And yeah, I understand that kasi it's the highest selling season. And they definitely don't want to miss that. Lalo na pagpasok ng holidays ngayon, sigurado yun, Black Friday, even though hindi sila magbababa ng presyo, maraming bibili ng consoles kasi it's the holidays. Maraming bibili ng maraming TV. Sigurado yun. Sa States, marami yun. Tayo naman, nakikisabay din tayo. Kasi meron din tayo yung mga sale ng Shopee, sale ng Lazada, magano yan mga. So, for sure, maraming mga chances to buy these new consoles for this season kasi magpapasko na. As I mentioned earlier, it's nagmamadali sila to get things out. Ang napansin ko sa dalawa, Xbox, mas pulido yung system nila. In terms of hardware and what they support, wala masyadong issue. Ang problem lang is they don't have much games to show for. So it's medyo kinulang lang sila ng konti. But they have 19 games to sell immediately, and they're already offering Game Pass as a default. So in a sense, they were kind of prepared for things. Sayang lang kasi na-miss nila yung Halo. Sa Sony naman, feeling ko talagang yun yung mas naramdaman ko, nagmadali sila. Kasi the hardware itself is fine. Maganda yung nagagawa ng hardware, maganda yung performance. Pero marami silang functionality na kulang. Maganda yung controller, maganda yung ginagawa niya, pero maraming functions na nawala. I can't do anything. I can't really say much about the 800 gigabytes. Pero ang pinaka siguro sa akin is yung expansion slot. Yung expansion slot kasi ng PlayStation hindi gumagana. So, sabi nila they'll get it running sometime after the launch. And that, yung hindi to matakbo yung expansion slot, tapos hindi rin gumagana yung 1440p resolution, medyo kulang, medyo sablay. They just, parang may dating sa akin na they just got it enough to run the system and reach it out for the holidays. Pero in terms of hardware itself, magandang ino-offer nila. I have no questions with both systems. Mas handa lang si Xbox. So, pero yun, kung magbibigay ako ng mga score, although yun nga, I have to remind na wala akong console itself. I'm not rating this in terms of hardware. I'm rating them in terms of how they performed this launch time. Itong launch kasi, yun, kung magbibigay tayo ng score of 5 na, tapos yung 5 yung highest, 1 is the lowest, I'd give Xbox Series X as a 4. Kasi, pulido yung system. No, not much of issues. Tapos, they have a bunch of games, but may kulang talaga. Kung siguro na nakapaglabas pa sila ng ibang games na that can really, lalo na yung first party game talaga, siguro tataas pa yung score niya. Yung Xbox Series S, maybe I'd give it a 3.5 kasi medyo bitin yung hard drive eh. As in, I have friends na talagang gusto sana bumili ng Series S pero nabitin sila sa hard drive, sa SSD. Talagang it's just not enough. It's just barely there. Sana kung naglabas sila ng Series S na may 1 tera, siguro pwede pa. Pero hindi eh. Wala. I'd also give PlayStation 5 a 3.5 kasi ang ganda na potential niya. Pero marami hindi tumatakbo. Kasi nga, walang, as I mentioned earlier, may SSD na pinakita na sa atin na may SSD slot siya. Pero hindi naman pwede paandarin. May resolution na technically dapat gumagana. Pero hindi rin nila they just didn't make it work for some apparent reason. Pero if they got all of that stuff running, siguro mabibigay ko 4.5. Hindi ko kaya ibigay sa PlayStation yung perfect score for the reason na wala silang SSD eh. Bitin ang SSD. As in, talagang bitin na bitin compared to what Xbox is offering. 1 tera. Bakit nabitin pa? Bakit 800 din binigay nila? Alam mo yung quick resume, it's just a bonus feature. It's something new. Ngayon lang natin nakita. So, I can let go of that in terms of what Sony is offering. Pero, the SSD, 800 gigabytes is just bitin talaga. Medyo nabitin siya. So, you'll have a working 600 gigabytes of space. So, in this sense, I would have given Sony a higher score for offering so much. At gusto ko sana yung ginawa nila with the SSD expansion slot kasi nga pwede mo idagdag on your own. Pero hindi tumatakbo eh. So, ayun. I am reacting based on what I seeing online on how things are. Pero for sure, in the next few months, definitely both of them will improve. Ang room for improvement sa PlayStation is bigger kesa sa Xbox. Kasi sa Xbox, kita mo talaga they really maximized what they had. In the long run lang, ang gusto ko lang sa Xbox is mas madali siya i-repair. Sa PlayStation, ewan ko lang. Kasi sa PlayStation, isang buong malaking motherboard lang siya. So, pag isang portion doon nasira, patay tayo doon. Hindi ko alam paano mare-repair yan. Pero, in terms of what it is now, tsaka sa pag-release niya, that is how I rate their performance on launch. Not about the system itself, not sa hindi sa performance sa mismong system. It's how they did perform during this launch period. Okay, so kung nag-enjoy naman kayo sa aking reaction, I hope you like it. Kung nagustuhan nyo, so give it a like. Kung nagustuhan mo yung content ko, give it a subscribe naman kayo. And anyway, thank you din sa lahat ng mga suporta sa akin. Azrael is helping me. Xbox Philippines, Xbox Live Philippines, they are also helping me out. Tapos Ganda Meisters, thank you. To my wife, thank you. Ayun. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye-bye. last minute thoughts tungkol dun sa video. Hindi ko na sabi kanina yung issues ko with regarding backwards compatibility. Kasi I think major issue sa akin yun kasi I've been playing games for a long period of time. So meron ako mga collection of games sa Xbox, Xbox 360. Meron din ako mga games sa PS3, PS2. So I think backward compatibility is a factor sa akin. So medyo disappointed din ako nung nalaman ko na medyo hanggang PS4 lang ang backward compatibility ng PS5. So in a sense, I think that's a major factor sa akin. Habang sa Xbox, lahat ng generation supported nila. If you value din yung mga lumang games, I think it's important for me yung backward compatibility. Problem din kasi, wala ka na mabibiling mga lumang console ngayon. Pahirapan na talaga. Although makakita ka ng mga refurbished, mga repaired units. But alam mo yun, paminsan-minsan ayaw mo na bumili ng mga ganun eh. Gusto mo isang console lang. Pero meron ka nakatambak na mga games. Pero ayaw mong mangolekta ng maraming console. So, one console for everything would be a really nice thing to have. Anyway, it has been 3 weeks since ginawa ko yung video. Medyo marami na nangyari. Lalo na nag-start na magbenta ng PlayStation 5 last a few days ago. Medyo that's a big thing for the reason na talagang official announcement siya na sabay-sabay ibebenta sa iba't ibang shops. In just mere seconds, alam ko, balita ko, naubos agad yung mga units. I don't plan to buy immediately. I think make a separate video regarding if I'm gonna buy something. I'll make a different video for that. Pati yung Xbox Series S, na benta na rin siya dito locally. Pero ganun din, nawala rin within the day. Wala pang balita regarding the Xbox Series X. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Pero yun nga, marami na nangyari. Since 3 weeks ko pa nga ginawa tong video na to. So, ngayon lang ako nakakapag-react ulit after the 3 weeks. So, mga major changes nga na nangyari is medyo yun nga, may mga sakit ngayon yung mga consoles, which is normal naman. Nangyayari talaga yung mga sakit sa console, lalo na pagbagong pa. If you're trying to rush into buying these consoles, expect na talagang magkakaroon ng mga problema. And wala pa dito sa atin sa Pilipinas yung ibang console. Sa PS5 wala pa kasi pre-orders pa lang. It's gonna be sold on the, I think, 2nd week of December. We still have to wait for that. Pero yung initial na mga binabenta sa ibang bansa, sa katulad sa US, some of them have already had issues sa Xbox and the PS5. So I won't get into detail yung mga issues ng mga Xbox pati sa PlayStation sa ngayon. Pero yun, it's gonna be normal na magkakaroon talaga ng mga problems. And don't be surprised that there are issues right now. It's always good to wait and see how it goes in the next few months. Okay, so thank you. If you enjoyed the video, thank you. Ayun, give it a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.